Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, you know who it is, coming at you guys back again once again with a brand new video, and this is going to be your competitive guide on how to use UB Burst, aka Blacephalon, and I know I probably butchered the pronunciation of this lollipop clown looking Pokemon, so I want to apologize in advance if I did exactly that. Please let me know how to properly pronounce this name. I know I'm not good at pronunciations, but with all that being said, guys, I also want to make a very quick disclaimer to say that I am likely going to be redoing all of the competitive guides that I've done thus far for Sun and Moon, given the fact that we're now in the era of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and given the amount of changes that have taken place thus far when it comes to new moves being added for a various amount of Pokemon, I figured why not just redo the series all over again, given the fact that we didn't exactly get to finish the series from the start. So with all that being said, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and let me educate you on how to use UB Burst. So with that said, let's go over first with the basics, that being its typing, abilities, and stats. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so for Dippy Dots, or sorry, not Dippy Dots, I mean UB Burst. The typing that we have is going to be a very unique typing of Fire and Ghost, and this typing right here automatically reminds me of Chandelure, so some could even say that this is a 5th gen version of Chandelure, except a little more frail and a lot more faster and more powerful. Now, we get to its ability Beast Boost, and what this does is whenever you knock out an opponent, the stat of the highest numerical value gets boosted by 1 stage. And as you see right here, when it comes to the stats, this Pokemon is the definition of a glass cannon, or in this case, a glass lollipop. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what we got going on here, for the HP, it is at base 53. For the attack, it is at base 127. Very, very usable and very, very deadly. Its defense, on the other hand, is deadly, but on a different side of the spectrum. More like deadly for UB Burst, because it's only at base 53. But then we get to the special attack. Whoa, man, oh man alive. It is at a lethal level at base 151. So, this Pokemon right off the bat boasts a very impressive special attack stat, and its 127 attack stat is very, very capable by itself, allowing you to run a physical set, a special set, and even a mixed set, which is something that I would personally recommend. We get to the special defense, it is at base 79, and then the speed is at base 107. Now this speed number is very, very unique, allowing for you to outpace anything with like base 106 speed and below. Now the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that while this Pokemon may not be the fastest, there is a lot of ways to make this Pokemon very threatening. But before we get to the sets, let's go ahead and let's go over the typing, resist, and weaknesses. So for its Fire and Ghost typing, we're going to start off with the weaknesses, that being its weakness to water, ground, rock, ghost, and dark. And you know what that means when it is weak to rock type moves. It is weak to stealth rocks, so you better be careful on switching this thing in to stealth rocks, because this is a Pokemon that is considered a glass cannon and can be wear down pretty quick. But we take a look at the resistances. It is a pretty sweet list, if I do say so myself, because you have a resistance to fire, grass, ice, poison, 4 times weak to bug. You also resist steel and fairy. So while you may not have the best defenses, you do have a respectable level of resistances. And we get to the immunities. You have 2 immunities to normal and fighting. So all in all, I have to say that this typing right here, while this Pokemon may not be a defensive Pokemon, its resistances are definitely pretty sweet to consider. So we now move on to set number 1. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first set that I would recommend you use would happen to be what I like to call a specially based mixed attacking set. So what we got going on here for the ability, its only ability that you can use for UB Burst, would happen to be Beast Boost. And then we get to the item. I would personally recommend using Life Orb, because while it does diminish 10% of your health whenever you use a move, the power of your moves get boosted by 30% by Life Orb. And given the fact that this thing is a glass cannon naturally, Life Orb, in my opinion, is a very, very solid choice for an item for UB Burst. But that's just my opinion. You can go for something like Assault Vest, you can go for something like Choice Scarf, you can go for something like Leftovers if you want, Citrus Berry, it doesn't matter, it's really up to you. We then get to the EV spread. I would personally go for 4 attack, 252 special attack, and 252 speed with a hasty nature, because we're not even going to really need to use its defenses, because its defenses are not good. they're really, really not good. So you're really not going to be losing out on anything too special if you are using a hasty nature. And given the fact that you are going to be using your really respectable base 127 physical attack, you're definitely not going to want to have a nature that is going to be reducing the attack stat. Now, it is up to you, but you can go and readjust the EV spread depending on how much attack or special attack you want UB Burst to have for specific threats that you have in mind that you would probably consider a threat to your team. So then we get to the moves. The first move is going to be its signature move, Mind Blown. Now, this move right here is a very powerful fire type move with base 150 power and 100% accuracy. But the huge drawback is this. Whenever you use this move, 50% of the damage that you inflict in terms of HP on your opponent, it is going to be coming back to you in recoil. And given the fact you don't exactly have a high HP stat, that's not good. That's really, really not good. So if you were to land a super effective hit on a fat Pokemon with a lot of HP, you're likely going to go down to the recoil and life orb recoil as well. So up next, we have ourselves Shadow Ball, which is going to be the secondary stab. Really solid base 80 power ghost type move with a 20% chance to lower the special defense by 1 stage. And up next, we have ourselves Knockoff, a really solid utility move that is really solid in power as well. It's base 65 dark type, and it allows for you to take advantage of your base 127 physical attack. Not to mention the utility part, it knocks off your opponent's held item, unless of course if they have the ability Sticky Hold, which prevents the items from being lost in the first place, or if it's a Mega Stone or Z Crystal. And last but not least, we have ourselves Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice, in my opinion, is the best option when it comes to using any sort of Hidden Power, because it allows for you to have a defensive move against the likes of Landor, Styrian, against the likes of Garchomp, Dragonite, the list goes on. Any fat ground or dragon type Pokemon or grass type Pokemon. Well, then again, when it comes to grass types, you do have Mind Blown, which is just going to be absolutely fantastic to use in battle. But with all that being said, guys, that's just one of a few sets that I have for you, so let's go to set number 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so coming up next, I like to consider this the Trick Scarf set. What we got going on here, guys, for the item is going to be Choice Scarf, which locks you into one move after a single use, but it does increase your speed by 50%. And given that base 107 speed is pretty damn neat, this is going to make it a very, very fast Pokemon, a really solid revenge killer in my opinion. We get to the nature, it is going to be a timid nature, so that way you lower the attack, because we're not going to be needing to use the attack in this situation here, and it's going to increase your speed by a little bit more. We then get to the EV spread. You're going to want to max out the special attack with 252 EVs, max out the speed with 252 EVs, and put the rest into special defense, or put into defense, it really doesn't matter. And we're going to have a 0 attack IV, because we're really not going to be needing that attack. And, well, not that you would likely survive a hit from Foul Play, but the thing is that Foul Play is a pretty spammable move, and it uses your attack against you. So that would be something to keep in mind, but again, I really don't think UB Burst would be living something like that, considering its frailty. But then we get to its first move, which is the centerpiece of this set. It is going to be Trick. Trick is a move that swaps your opponent's held item. Now, here's the thing, is that this Pokemon right here, it just doesn't have to be a fast revenge killer. It can be a very annoying fast crippler too. So this Pokemon right here, if you even think about trying to switch your Chanseys or Blissies or Alomomolas or any sort of special wall that can take this thing one-on-one, you might want to think twice, because it can simply Trick Scarf you and, well, your wall is crippled and can't do shit. So we then get to the next move. It is going to be that of Shadow Ball. You know, it is a really imperative move to have on any special set, and especially a set like this, because it does give you a really solid base 80 ghost type move that hits on the special side. We have ourselves our third move. I chose Mind Blown because you're going to want to get out as much damage as possible, because this thing is meant to be a nuke as well, but you don't have to go for Mind Blown if you're worried about the recoil damage. You can go for something like Overheat or even Fire Blast. It is going to be a little bit weaker when it comes to power, but at the cost of the fact that you're not going to have massive recoil damage whenever you use Mind Blown. It's really up to you. And last but not least, we have ourselves Hidden Power Ice, which I feel is going to be a pretty standard move to have on any UB Burst set, but you know what? That's just my preference. You can go for something like Hidden Power Grass if you're worried about bulky water and ground type Pokemon, but Hidden Power Ice, in my opinion, does a lot better in terms of type coverage. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next set. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this next set here is going to be a sub-Calm Mind with Leftovers set. Now, this Pokemon right here, while it may not be bulky by any stretch of the imagination, this Pokemon, in my opinion, will force a lot of switches. So this Pokemon right here could be a really solid candidate for a sub-Calm Mind user. So the item for choice, like I said, we have ourselves Leftovers, which allows for you to recover a little bit of HP at the end of every turn. We're going to be obviously going for a timid nature because you're going to want to have as much speed as possible, and there's no way that you're going to be able to boost your speed with a set like this because you're primarily going to be using this as a setup sweeper with your special attack. So we get to the EV spread. It is going to be, once again, 252 special attack, 252 speed, 4 special defense with 0 attack IVs, because like I said, you're not going to be needing to use your attack at all, so might as well lower it down to as minimum as possible. So the first move that we got going on here, it is going to be Calm Mind, which boosts your special attack and your special defense by 1 stage, and I'm thinking after a couple of Calm Mind boosts, with the level of special attack that you have already, and given the fact that this thing does have access to Beast Boost, which means that you can snowball, essentially, KOs and allow for you to boost your special attack even further, you almost don't even need to use Calm Mind to +6. You can use it once or twice, and then essentially just start sweeping from there, potentially. That is, of course, if something decides to try to ruin Blacephalon's day. Now, up next, we have ourselves Substitute, which, while it does take away a quarter of your health, it allows for you to throw up a decoy, which protects you from the likes of having your items taken from you with Trick or Switcheroo. It allows for you to be protected from statuses. It allows for you to be protected from the likes of Leech Seed. It just overall is a really solid move to have, not to mention it is great for scouting as well, because, like I said, this Pokemon could potentially force a lot of switches, so if you are predicting a switch, you set up a Substitute right then and there. The opponent's thinking, well, damn, what do I do now? It's like, well, I just might as well forfeit. Well, though they probably wouldn't do that right away, because it would likely still be early in the game. But up next, we have ourselves Shadow Ball, because, like I said, it is a very imperative stab ghost-type move that hits for special damage, and it's base 80 power with a 20% chance to lower the special defense by 1 stage. Very spammable move in my opinion. And last but not least, we have ourselves Fire Blast, a really solid middle ground in my opinion. When it comes to a very powerful fire type move, you could go for something like Overheat if you really wanted to, but it does lower your special defense by, or sorry, your special attack by 2 stages. To lower your special defense by 2 stages, well then, I think Overheat would be a little bit more spammable, but unfortunately it does come with a price. And you could go with something like Mind Blown if you're really ballsy, but the problem is, like I said, is that this move right here, whenever you inflict mass damage on it, 50% of the damage you inflict gets hit to you in recoil, which is not good and kind of counterproductive if you think about it with the functionality of this set. So I would opt out to go for Fire Blast. It is a really solid base 110 fire type move. While it does have a chance to miss, if you really want to dumb it down, you really want to have that solid reliability and accuracy, you could go for something like Flamethrower. But this right here is my personal recommendation when it comes to a set like this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that right there is going to conclude this video pretty much. I know that there's likely going to be more sets for Blacephalon when it comes to the competitive use, but I thought I'd throw in a few basic sets to get you guys started, and in my opinion, these sets could carry a lot of weight when it comes to the competitive scene for Blacephalon. But with all that being said, guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button. Also be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications if you are new here. Join our community as we're on the road to 10K. And I hope you guys, like I said, enjoyed this video, this competitive review for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for UB Burst. And with all that being said, I say have yourself a good night. Much love to you guys, and I will see you guys next upload. Subscribe, support, stay positive, keep it 100. See you next time.